Guru Kripa Kevalam. Namaste and welcome everyone to Satsang today. Sadguru Sri Muji Baba ki Jai. Nitya wants to say something. Are you able to unmute yourself, my dear? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. Yes.
Good. I'm always so excited. It's okay to speak now? Yeah. I just felt to share something. I don't know why. I just felt to share what happened here today, and it's some kind of a story. So bear with me. So we have Sangha meeting tomorrow here. So and my Sangha meeting here at my home, yeah, tomorrow. And my big thing is always to clean up the space, yeah. So and I'm just in resistance to this for a very long time now. This is actually one of the top themes in this life, yeah, cleaning up. And so I said, so something has to happen now. I was so I just sat with it, and I found out, and I looked at it, and I found out that the story behind it was just some kind of rebellion mode, which I'm in. I just had the feeling. This was the story. I just always have the feeling I have to meet the expectations of others, and meeting this expectations of others, and the rebellion in this is just this. No, I just don't do it. I just want to do what I want to do. Just this no, this no. But I was not able. This was just a deep habit already that I didn't even realize that the story was behind it, and it was just this these sensations in the body was seemingly the reason why I would not clean up. There was just this very, very uncomfortable feelings and sensations in the body. And so what the point, what I wanted to make somehow is just this, how these deep, how do you say this deep something, yeah, just reduce itself into body sensations, or just into some feelings, and there was just this no left. actually. Just a no. Just a no. Yeah, I'm just not doing it. No. And this make it this no just felt good in a way. It just felt good and right in a way. Just gave me some kind to say no, not doing that. Just felt, gave me some kind of freedom for this person here, yeah, and seeming person. And I found, and then when I just saw it, yeah, and it is just so funny. I mean, when I saw it, I would just no. I said no to the no. You know what I mean? I just stop. I can just stop this story. Stop this interpretation of the sensations in the body. Stop the interpretations of the feelings. Stop the interpretation. Stop the whole story. And it is just like, it's nothing. It's really nothing. And then something, no, this cannot be this easy, And of course, it's the same voice, yeah? It's the same, it's of course the same. And that was so, this is just so, I just want to say, it's just so amazing how easy it actually is. How easy and nothing. When you just see the story, and it's not even a decision. I don't even know what it is, I don't even want to know what it is. It is just, it is just, what to say? I mean, and this whole thing, it was so profound. I'm actually, I'm how do you say? I'm just shaking, inside, really, to share this, because this whole topic was also, related to, to my eating habits. It's the same. Doing, all my the stuff I have to do, my papers, everything I would have to take care of for myself. When it's around others doing something, for seeming others, it is very different. But for me, it was all, and this is just a red thread throughout my life, And now you sit down, and you just look at this. It's not even a big deal, was just a story, and I just have to stop. I mean, just stop. And that's it. And it is that easy. It is really that easy, and it has to happen, it must be that easy. It must be that easy. And it must, I'm just the kind of, still do what's going on, I just had to share it. And put it, I feel just put my life here, in I don't know. I just had to share it. Thank you. Thank you.
Very good, very good. I had this example, it reminded me, what she's saying reminded me of this example. I can't remember it fully now, but I was saying that the movie is It's a Wonderful Life. You see? But the subtitles got mixed up. You see? So the subtitles became the struggle of something. Like what is the most...
The Godfather.
The Godfather or something. You see?
Horror story.
Some horror story, some struggle, the strife of human existence. So So once we start switching from the subtitles to actually being with the movie, I say, oh, what is the whole struggle about? You see? What is the struggle about? You see? And if you notice in the subtitles, it's just like, oh, but you have to know this, you have to figure this out. What is the meaning of life? When will you be free? Does this mean I'm free? You see, this search for why, this meaning, what causes what came before this and what will come after, all of this is in the interpretation. So as she said, she just saw that everything is just an interpretation. All our interpretations are just, coming, and they're representing a picture of life which actually just isn't. You see, so I'm happy that someone came and said, but actually it's very easy to stop. It's just an idea. You see, it's just an interpretation. You see, so this is music to my ears in that way, because usually it's like it's so difficult, and this thought comes, and then I buy into it, and what do we do, and this kind of thing. So sometimes it's also good to hear that it's nothing actually. You see, it's just like a thought. It's really nothing. You see, the subtitles are playing out. You see, but it doesn't interrupt the movie. It doesn't affect the movie. It doesn't change the movie in any way, and it doesn't have to. You see? So the movie is already, it's a wonderful life. Nothing has to change in it. But when we start judging the characters in the movie, the scene, what happened, what should happen, you see, when we start watching the movie with this kind of interpretive mindset, then everything can seem like it is a struggle. You see? And we give ourselves these silly notions, you see, the false beliefs, you see, that actually now I have looked at this and I computed between my thoughts and I said, this is it, and I came to a truth. You see, I came to the truth. You see, but it is not the truth, it is just a belief. You see, anything that we can compute in that way, intellectualize or figure out, you see, is just a belief. You see, anything that we say it is this way or it is not this way, you see, is not the truth, it is just a belief. Because if it was just this way, then it would not be an unlimited truth. Okay? So, look at this for a moment. Truth is unlimited, that is the one you're after, no? You're not after limited truth. So how can then truth be this way and not that way? Then it would be limiting the truth, you see. But concepts are only limiting by nature. You see, concepts are what they define, and to define is to limit. You see, so anything that you can define about yourself is to limit yourself. With me? So anything that you can define about yourself is to make a conceptual box around yourself, a limit about yourself. You see. So, but you are looking for a truth which is unlimited. You see. So a belief is nothing but a concept that you have which you feel that it represents reality. Isn't it? You see? If you feel it represents reality, and that's why you say this is the truth. You see. But then in that what you're doing is you're confining the truth into a small box. You see, of this way or that way. You see? Now, the truth is much simpler than that. You see, what is or isness is much simpler than that. You see, it cannot be captured through these notions. You see? So, this simplicity is ever apparent. It's ever apparent but never understood. You see, this is the difference. You see, when we try to make that what is apparent into an understanding or knowledge, you see, that is the struggle of the spiritual seeker. In fact, that is the so-called struggle of life itself. You see, try to give a box to what is. You see, is the struggle of life. If you threw these boxes away, first recognize that you don't know anything. You see, this can seem like a bit of a struggle. You see, because if you're holding on to a belief, you're not holding on to it with the sense that, oh, this is nonsense or it is garbage. You're feeling like it has value. You see, so although all of us can nod vigorously, the point is that we can still hold on to many beliefs. You see, now life has a well-defined system in a way that if you're holding on to a notion, a concept, it is going to pinch you. You see? It is going to pinch you. You see? So when that pinching comes, then see that, just check what is the nonsense I'm holding on to. You see? So pinching equals acceptance of some nonsense or some limiting idea about yourself. You see? When pinching comes, just check and throw it away. That is inquiry in a very simple way. You see? To inquire into what is true. You see? You will see that if it has the ability to push buttons, you see, if it has the ability to make you believe something about yourself in a limited way, you see, then it is just a version of the truth that you have, you see, which you are claiming to be truly representative of what is true. You see? So what you realize is like the Zen master saying that day that one explosive notion which blasts a lot of other notions is no. You see? It's like look at whatever you're holding on to and see that it is not. It is no. You see, whether you call it neti neti or you call it no, whatever you call it, it's fine. You see, it is not that. It does not truly represent anything. You see, so come to know, but also don't make know into a lifestyle. I loved it when he said that also, because then we can become from knower, Knower, to knower, everything in know. You see, that is also too strong a position. We don't know even that. You see, so now I feel like I have the same satsang every day, but okay. You see? So when it is said like this, all these words have been spoken, it can feel like I have a task to do. You see, I have this to do, and then I will come to this sort of emptiness. But I have a good news for you. You see, this emptiness, this conceptual nakedness, you see, is ever present. It's here now. You see, which notion did you start with now? Right now. Okay, now think of a notion. Tell me when you got one. Got one? Okay. Now hold on to that and bring it into now. Really? Can't do it. Because the now is so fresh, it is so natural, it is so original that you cannot bring your conditions, your baggage, you see. So you have to reinvigorate them, you have to revitalize them again and again and again. You see? So it is just like the garden has to be watered every day. In the same way, our conditions have to be watered, nurtured with our belief over and over and over again for them to survive. You see? Now the thing is that you cannot pick and choose. You see? The thing is that you cannot pick and choose. Because if you pick one idea, you see, just like I was saying, that in one idea 10,000 ideas are contained. And in those 10,000 ideas, another 10,000 each are contained. Therefore, the whole notional representation of the universe is there in one idea. You see? So, that's why even the negation idea has to be dropped also. You see? Which is useful provisionally, but also then has to go. You see? Because even in the no, what does no mean? You see? It is not, or something which is not. Then you see, each of those terms mean so many other terms, and each of those terms means so many other terms. So even the negation of it is useful only to a particular point, till you see that even that is too limiting a representation of what is, or the isness. You see? So now if you had to do the job of picking up what is the garbage I have to pull it out, I have to throw it away, then it can seem like it may take lifetimes, because once you start looking like that in that expedition, you find more and more and more. You see? So you don't have to undertake that expedition also. You are empty now. You see? You are empty now. That is the best shortcut. You see? Now. Before now. Before the concept of now. You see? Before the sound of the click. Now. You see? Like this. All gone. Fresh as a baby. You see? Innocence of the baby that you are looking for is here now. It's here now. You see? But, you see, the but will come and say, but me. You see? The only but is but me. Actually. You see? But what about me? but what's in it for me? You see? So that's why this game of satsang goes on. I'm saying, I cannot tell you the truth, I cannot perceptually show you the truth, but I'm showing it to you just by pointing like this. You see? And you're seeing it actually. Not with these eyes, but you're seeing it. You cannot miss it. It is unmissable. You see? But it has nothing for me. You see? So when this me which has been nurtured for so long, you see, says, but what did I get? Nothing. It is true. You see? It is true because nothing got nothing. It itself is nothing. So how will it get something? It can only get nothing. You see? So this imaginary one got nothing because it itself is imaginary. You see? But because we've pledged our allegiance in a way to that one, then it can just feel like, I don't get it, what's happening here, I didn't find anything, I don't get it. You see? So this is the game of satsang. You see? I'm showing you simple, super simple, super natural, without having to be supernatural, you see? Supernatural, you see? But nothing for you. You see? So these boys will come, but me. And then the sage said, of course, said, okay, in response to this but me, ask yourself, who am I? Who are you? Who is this that you're representing? You see? So that is the path of self-inquiry. Bhagavan said two methods, First is self-inquiry. When this but me comes, say, who am I? Find out if there is such a me. Find out who am I. You see? Second is the path of surrender. Means don't bother with this me, leave everything to the divine or to the Sadguru present. Surrender. Simple. It is just like this. It is just a counter to this but me. You see? But what about me? You see? You see? So it can also be that, okay, now that I know that there is nothing in it for me, now what about me? You see? Because we've nourished it with so much momentum. You see? So it's almost like this, like Bhagavan gave a very good metaphor for this. He said, the fan, the energy, the power is turned off, but it still can go around for a bit. You see? So we might still be struggling that way to say, okay, now I'm really understanding what he's saying, that there's really nothing here for me. Now have I got it? You see? This is another way of saying but me. You see? It is still the but me. So this is the habit. You see? That is why the game is just a thought. It's very useful. Because as you shine this light on this play of the mind, and notice that it is nothing. You see, have I got it is just a thought. Have I missed it again is just a thought. You see, I can't get it is just a thought. You see, it's so difficult, it's just a thought. It's so simple, it's just a thought. What do I do? It's just a thought. I have to stop believing, it's just a thought. You see, and none of these are the notions I'm talking about. None of them are valid representations of what is, as true as they may seem. You see? You see? So either in the positive or in the negation is not the truth. Either up or down or both or neither is the truth. You see? Neither this way nor that way. Actually both ways and neither ways. Got it? You see? So you become very comfortable with not having to judge. You see? You can have two completely opposite ideas and both can have the same truth value for you. It doesn't matter because you let go of trying to define yourself in this mental way. And the sages have been saying this for a long time. In very simple ways, like my words can seem a bit abstract and intellectual or difficult at times, but I am saying what Papaji said in a way, that to suffer you need something. You see? To be happy you need nothing. So what is this something? Nobody picks up something thinking that is going to give me suffering. We pick up something because we think that is useful. It is valid representation. You see? So that is why it is good to see what is our version of reality. You see? What is your version of reality now? And if you have one, throw it away, because it is going to not bring you any benefit. It is only going to make you suffer, because reality is so unlimited that it will contradict that version, no matter how broad you might feel that version is. You see? Reality, or even the apparent play or the manifest play of reality, is also so broad that it will end up contradicting whatever version you might think is true. You see? So this is when you are left without a branch to hang on to. You see? This is when you are left without anything to hold on to. Let go. This is the meaning of let go. Guruji says let go. You see? Let go. So these ideas of yes, no, good, bad, true, false, you see, are just going to make versions out of you. You see? But they're never going to truly represent what is. You see? So this whole game, in a way, is actually undefinable, but if we have to say something about it, in a way is that which is unlimited, playing as if it is limited, using these ideas. It is like the beach, you see, is making tiny circles on itself in its own sand and saying I am limited by that circle. And what are these circles? They are limiting ideas about ourselves. You see? Okay. Now this primary foundation of this circle is the idea of I or me. The I thought, as Bhagwan called it. So don't refer to I as anything. Is to let go of the I thought. See? Anytime we hear this in strange ways, so we can feel like, okay, if once I've done that, then I've done this, then I will encounter the I thought and we will have a battle, and then the I thought will go and I will be free. You see? But it is just a thought. It is, even I is just a thought. It is the I thought. You see? So it is just a thought, which means that any reference you make to I, you see, which you feel is a valid, even if you say I am Brahman, the greatest, broadest, most absolute reference you can make, you see, is still the possibility to limit yourself based on that. You see? Otherwise, why would there be a need to assert if it could not be negated? You see? Like in a simpler way, you don't have to assert I have a mouth. People will say you're crazy. You see? It is like I have a mouth, obviously. So why you have to assert it? You see? Isn't it? So in the assertion is contained the possibility of it not being true. That is why you need to assert it. You see? So sometimes when we buy into the assertions, as glorious and as broad seeming as they might be, we don't recognize that this is just pointing me to a greater reality. It itself does not represent it. You see? So even the Mahavakyas, the greatest pointers, are just pointers. You see? They are not valid representations of what is, because what is not so small that can be represented in these ways. You see? So whatever we consider to be true, whatever our belief system is, whatever we think we know, you see, whether it is pride or whether it is humility, which is both the same thing actually, it doesn't matter. You see? Just let it go. Let's move to a bigger playground. Haven't we had enough of this playground? It's like, yes, no, why am I like this? When will I be free? Aren't we tired of this like small playground? This is the kids' pool. Let's dive into the bigger pool, yeah? So, if you're done with this play of me, Then let's let go of this and see what beauty lies beyond. If we're done with this play of concept and percept, let's see what non-perceptual beauty lies beyond. So that in a way is my invitation or provocation to let go of this limited idea of my freedom and my bondage, because there is no such me. You see, you've looked enough now, you've not found it, and yet you, with your belief, pledge your allegiance to it. You see? Everything that we believe is actually a pledge of allegiance to the me.
How can I say?
Yeah.
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 I
Let me mute. Yes.
just oh sorry. I just felt to say, I don't know how to put it in words, but there was such a long time where I was not realizing that I was understanding with the mind. And it is the real understanding is so different. You don't need to know anything. I mean, you really need to know anything at all. And it was last week we had the topic, or this week, I don't know anymore. I cannot remember. But this thing, how that we need to learn to discern what is mind and the mind to realize what mind is. And this is such a crucial point, I feel, because when you see it, it is done. It is just, you cannot go on playing in the seeing what the mind is. I mean, and even when we say, this is a thought, yeah? Even when I say, I still, I can still, yes, the mind says, of course, this is a thought, yeah? And it's still the understanding of the mind. It is not the seeing, which is just here, which does not need the mind as such. It does not need the understanding of the mind. So this is so different and so free and so light. And yeah.
This is very good report, and everyone must hear this report, because it is coming from someone who has done like so much seva over the years. She's done so many highlights, hundreds and hundreds of highlights, so many videos, you see. So she's heard everything, and she's saying that, you see, for a long time it can seem like I'm understanding it, but we don't realize it's still like how much we still know, like I've been saying, you see. It's still like a conceptual understanding, and we feel like, oh, now I've got this, and now it is this way, you see. So this is very, very good, and I feel like everyone should hear this report, because it's coming from a space of great credibility, of someone who's watched more satsang probably than any of us, you see, because she's gone through so many videos, so many highlights. Maybe the transcript team and Nitya as well, like, was a one-man army of the video team for a long time. So she's seen so much video, and she says that it is important to see really what is the mind, you see, because that escapes us. We can keep on building more and more knowledge based on what we are hearing in satsang also, you see, till we come and see, but this is what the mind is, recognize what the mind is. And she's right when she says, but even that claim that now this is what the mind is also mind, you see, or to say it's just a thought is also just a thought, you see. It's just a thought is also just a thought. It is not a thought. You see? It can seem very obvious, but something just has to be seen in that way. You see, the simplicity of it. You see, otherwise, on top of satsang, we can build a huge mental framework, which can feel like, but now I got it. You see, I must have got it because I've really looked at this over and over again. You see. But just this simple recognition, you see, that this is what the mind is, can break the shackles, you see, can break the shackles. Because many times we feel like we have so many mental concepts about the mind itself. You see, they even feel like, yeah, we have a good understanding of the mind, but it's a great trick. It's a great trick. You feel like we have a bundle of information and knowledge about the mind itself, you see. And then it becomes like a traditional classroom. Okay, how much do you know? How much do you know? So I really value a report like that, to say somebody to say, but I see that something just so here, something so now, you see, something so innocent, so simple, that I cannot put it in words, I cannot verbalize it, I cannot say this or that. That's why all the clues are here in Satsang. I'm saying that anything that has an opposite is not it. Anything that has an opposite, can be asserted or negated, is not it. It is just a thought, it is just a belief. So if you're taking a position this way, that way, you see, and these positions can sound very compelling, you see, because what are positions on offer here in Advaita? You see, it's very funny because it's no distinction, but great positions are on offer still. It's like, I am the absolute, I am the self. You see? Like these kind of positions, when they get fully mental and they get fully deeply ingrained, you see, you'll become so closed, you won't many times even see how closed you are, because you're just like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Whatever I invite you to look at, you say, yeah, I know this. You see, I know this. That's what I'm saying. What's the big deal in that? You see, so this kind of houses can be built. Egoic houses can be built on spiritual knowledge, and that is why we must throw away everything. That's why Bhagwan's metaphor of thorn is very useful, because this thorn is a big thorn. Okay, it is used to remove all these thorns. That itself, if you embed that as the medicine or something, then you need a bigger thorn to come and remove that one. You see? So it's a sword, but it's a double-edged sword. You see, all pointers themselves, if they are taken to be the final truth, then can become deeply embedded as limitations, as suffering, as ego. You see, so that is called the spiritual ego. In what ego made up of? The circle made up of a spiritual belief system. You see, that is the spiritual ego. How not to make that circle is not to have this way or that way. Not to have even distinction of worldly and spiritual. Advaita is no duality. So no duality does not mean we have some glorified idea of the one or something like that. So that's why it's non-duality, but it doesn't really affirm really like a big one or something like that, because that is also a notion which does not encapsulate reality. So at least drop the two-ness, drop the separation. That's why I love the term Advaita, non-duality. The negating term is better, because it is not asserting the validity of any notion, but negating the notion of separation or duality. So now you'll see that all our notions are limiting or separating. All definitions are limiting. That's how they define. Even if it says it is all there is, and yet in some way it asserts the possibility of it not being that. So throw it away. Whatever you're thinking is so true, throw it away. And you can do one, as I call it, the internal audit. Just do an internal audit and see, what am I still believing to be true? What do I know? What do I know? And I can tell you what you can throw away. Whatever you say to what do I know, you can throw away safely. See? Find that which you want to guard and not throw away. See? Just to yourself, expose it to yourself. What is it that you want to guard and not throw away? You may feel like it is helping you, but it actually the infection itself. You might think it's the medicine, but it is the infection. So if you're open to your most deeply held beliefs being thrown out, you see, that is openness. Many feel like openness means, yeah, I'm listening, you see, I'm listening, I'm happy to gather more. You see? You see? But that is not the openness that I'm talking about. In the world, of course, that is what is called openness, of course. But I'm saying true openness is willing to let go of our most deeply held belief system. You see? Not open to building on to it more and more. You see? That is why that simple game is just a thought. It's good. Set fire to your most glorious version of reality. You see? You can do fire ceremony if you want. You see? Set fire to your most glorious version. You see, because in fire ceremony also sometimes what we end up doing is like, oh, I don't like this about myself, so I give that up. I don't like this. So maybe we should have a fire ceremony is like, whatever version you like, now you throw that. You see, I like this about myself a lot. If it is true, it cannot go. If something is true, then you don't need to have the representation of it, isn't it? If something is just here, do you need a roadmap to it? You see? So, do you need a picture of it? If the sun is here, then will you stare at the picture of the sun and say, I need the picture? You see, you don't need. No? So, in the same way, if you feel like there's a fear to throw away the picture because the truth might go with it, you see, that itself is a clue that the truth is not that. You see, because if it can go by throwing away the map, if it can go by throwing away the picture, then what value does that truth have? It's nothing, it's just a notion, it's just an idea. You see? And as you go hunting for this duality, as you go hunting for notion, you will see, like she said the other day, everything has to go. Everything has to go. You see? And what is left? That you cannot say. It is unspeakable. Even to say it is unspeakable in a way is to speak about it. It is like cheating. You see? But actually it's beyond even being unspeakable. You see? It is also cheating. You see? You see, that's why I keep saying that I cannot speak the truth. You see? Nobody can speak the truth. You see? And I cannot show it to you as a painting, as a audio, sound, as a smelling, as a tasting. But I can show it to you with a different eye, with a different set of eyes. You see? This is all that I'm attempting to do, is to show it to you, but not show it to you this way. That's why that story is very good. Now this very, very super advanced seeker who was sent to Yajnavalkya, you see, and then he said to the sage, I have been sent by my master to you because you will tell me the ultimate truth. And the sage is just sitting quietly. Then he tries many times before getting angry, as is natural for all of us to do in a way. Before getting angry and saying, but you're not telling me anything, you must be super arrogant, maybe you need to work on your ego. You see, like this kind of thing. You see? And the sage said, but I am telling you, I have been, every time you have asked, I have told you. You see? But are you listening? Are you listening? So this is the thing. These are not. It is more obvious than listening with this ears. More obvious than that. Not obscure. Like sometimes we can say not see with this eye. We can feel like it is more obscure or something like that. More secret. No, more obvious than what can be perceived through these eyes. What is more obvious than that? You see, you have to find that. You see, that is what I mean by the apparent truth. You see? This is what they meant when they said Buddha nature is never concealed. You see? When the Vedantin said the truth always is. You see? So the integrity that Nisargadatta Maharaj speaks about is the integrity of being honest with yourself and saying, what is it I really want? What is it that I really want? And if your answer is something that you will taste, you will experience, you see, phenomenally, perceptually, then realize that that is not what is on offer here. You see, if these come as byproducts naturally on their own, that's fine. But here it is not about that. If the answer is that I am going to find that I come to know the ultimate concept, you see, like I have this super knowledge of something, you see, then realize that it is not this. In fact, if my words have not completely contradicted themselves and cancelled themselves easy into neutrality, then I'm not doing a good job. So if you feel like I can hold on to this or this as the ultimate truth, then it is not that. You see? So, and if you hold on to that way when it is contradicted, then you might feel like, but come on, then what am I getting? You see, exactly. Exactly. So I cannot tell you, that's what I'm saying, I cannot tell you, and I cannot show it to you as a perception. You see? But I can show it to you as a non-perceptual experience. So don't try to understand it. And when I say I can show it to you, it's not like okay, now you're open enough here. It's not like that. I am showing you. Like I am pointing to it constantly, showing you in the way. I just as a teacher with a pointer saying, look here, see, look here. Become empty and see what's there. Become empty. See. You see, just see. So this way showing you, not that, oh, once you're worthy enough, I will open some metaphysical box out of which some experience. Not like that showing you. I'm just pointing constantly to it. Not hidden. In fact, just I'm forcing you to see. Like, don't go there, don't go there, don't go there. You see? And what is obvious to you? When you don't go there and you don't go there, what is obvious to you? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's like that. Before you hear the click. But there's nothing in it for me. You see? In the sense I'm saying nothing in it for you. If you think of yourself, if you think of yourself as something, there's nothing in it for that one. You see? So if you're expecting that you will one day hear the click metaphysically and some special appearance will be found. I say, you see, this is what it was. Krishna is hiding under the click or something like that. You see? Then it is not that. You see? It is simpler than that. Much simpler than that. You see? You see? And then that you can label as Krishna if you want. You see? But it will not represent, it will not conform to any representation that you have. Is what I'm saying. So whatever you think is true is worthless. Sorry if that sounds too rough or something. Whatever you think that you have found in the past is also worthless. Whatever you think you have found in the past, because now you just have a photo of it, you see, and you keep staring at the photo. You see? If you met a great sage, you see, you took a photo, you see, and you're like just so devoted to the photo. Like, from a time where the sage will come and say, "Hello," and you're like, "No, don't take it. Go." You see? So it's just like that. You see? The truth is like punching you in the face. But you're just like, you want the version more. It's like, come on, I'm here. You see? No, I want it my way. You see? I want it my way. You see? I want it for me, I want it my way. This me in any which way is just staring at the photo of it rather than meeting it fresh. You see? Because many times it can happen. These are all the pitfalls of the spiritual seeker, you see. I'm making light of them, but these are common afflictions that all of us have, because we might have had a superb experience 3 days ago and we take a photo of that and say, see, that was it. So we keep staring at that, and the truth is like, hello. You know? And we're like, come on, leave me alone. It was like, you see? So we get attached to something, some experience, something, you see? And we say that is it, and now the truth must live up to that. You see? Now, the truth will not live up to any such version that you have of it. If the truth has to conform to your falsity, then the false would be the truth. Isn't it? If the truth has to conform to your limited ideas of what it should be, the one that I saw 3 days ago, it has to be only that. You see? Then what kind of truth would it be? It would be very limiting, no, as a truth. If it does not include already what this is, even whatever way it might be manifesting as, you see, if it does not include that, then it is a very tiny truth. You see? So there is no reason to hold on to anything from the past, any idea, even the greatest experiences from the past. There is no reason to, because if it is not alive and fresh now, then it's just a photo album, you see. It's just your Instagram feed. It's just like, that was a great time. So all your pictures, all your representations, paintings, thoughts, great discoveries, great insights, everything through it. What you have found, what you have lost, what you think you know, everything. Empty, open. Open and empty. Finish. If it was that way, then all the satsang I would have ever shared would have been, you know what happened the day I sat in front of Guruji? You see, every day I would just come and say that was it. You see, it was in that experience. You see, then I would say that it was in that experience, and I just want to point to that experience. See, but I don't do that. You see, in fact, I rarely do that. Because then these kind of things become benchmarks, and we feel like that is exclusive of this, you see. So I am saying this, I am saying this. No, I'm not saying that which happened, that which will happen. What is most natural, most obvious, most simple, here and now. You see? So don't build any houses around anything that has happened in the past, that you feel like you want to make happen in the future. All of this, burn it down. Forget it. Nothing is a thing. You see? Nothing. Don't make anything a thing.
How do I do that?
Like this. It is done for you. You see? When you signed up for this life, you subscribe to the God package. Okay? So God is here. Just now, simply. You see? Now, how you do that is because it's a false question, because it implies that it is at a distance. You see? Doing implies distance. So, I've been saying that this concept of doing itself, you see, is fraud. There is no such thing as doing. You see? So we don't have to come to a conclusion about who is doing, whether I am doing or a greater force is doing or something is doing. You don't have to, because there is no doing. You see? It's like saying, what is it? Some obscure super breakdance. Is it? Sorry, I'm not coming up with better examples, but you have something. You see, this is like, there is no such thing like that, but you feel like that is how you interpret the world. This one is doing super breakdance very well. This one is not so well. This one. You see, and somebody comes and says, "What is that super breakdown?" You see, I don't know. I was taught that there is this thing called doing. You see, so we take what is just a movement, and we've called that a doing, and we've labeled that as doing well, doing badly, doing, and we got so stuck in this idea of doing, that it becomes so pervasive that it becomes such a big burden. So we have to put that somewhere else. You see, because it feels like too restricting, too troublesome, too much filled with guilt and pride for me. So I'm going to say that, okay, I am not doing, that one is doing. You see, like that. So helpful provisional notion, but maybe we can now come to a point where we throw away the idea of doing itself. What is doing? It's very deeply ingrained. You see, and I'm pretty sure that birds don't have this idea of doing. You see, and yet the flapping of the wings happens, the migration to very intelligent seeming movements seem to happen. You see, trees, I'm sure, don't have the idea of doing. You see, babies, I'm sure, don't have the idea of doing, and yet all the movement activity seems to happen. You see, so we have confused activity to be doing, and with doing we've invented so much suffering. You see, what is suffering? There's no such thing as suffering except a big word for these tiny things called guilt, pride, remorse, regret, you see, resentment. All of this is only suffering. You see, and doing is very central to all of this. So throw it away. There is no doing and not doing. No throwing and not throwing. You see, so that's why I said when we start hunting for this duality, you will see that even these notions like doing, we feel like our whole life is built up of all this doing, not doing, doing things right, doing things badly, you see, all these judgments, interpretations. There is no doing only. Then you will see also that which I'm saying we make doing out of activity, there is no activity only. Even movement is a notion. You see. But let me not force these insights on you. You have to look and see what do I mean by activity. You see, what do I mean by perception? You see, these are all clues. So one day then you will have this insight and you will say like Papaji or Guruji that nothing has ever happened. But there's no point picking up that, oh, nothing has ever happened, just conceptually, and just sounding very Advaita about it. You see, nothing has ever happened, then what is movement? What is perception? What is attention? So I'm saying all of these are just notions as well. Even attention itself is a primal notion, but a notion. You see? So look like this, very, very openly, and don't be scared, because nothing worthwhile can go. You see? What is it says in the Course in Miracles? Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal has ever existed. Herein lies the peace of God. You see? Nothing real can be threatened. You see? In the same way, you don't have to hold on to it if it is real. You see? Because everything that you're holding on to, you feel like because there is a threat of it being taken away from you. You see? So nothing real can be threatened. So don't be worried about losing the concepts of it, the notions of it, because if it is real, it is not going. You see? Nothing unreal ever exists. You see? Nothing unreal. That's why it's unreal. Herein lies the peace of God. And this peace is the peace in which truth is apparent. God is apparent. That's why we say Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Why do we invoke peace so much? You see? Because in the noise of our mind, in the noise of our belief system, you see, this which is so obvious and apparent seems to get obscured and missed. You see, it only seems to. Now, your seeing will become that inclusive that you will see that nothing obscures this truth. But it can feel like that it does. So, this is a great reassurance. Nothing real can be threatened. So, whatever you feel like you have to defend, leave it. Leave yourself defenseless, open. And if you look at the last 10 things you defended, look at the last 5 things, 10 things that you defended, you will see that most of the time it will just blah blah blah, something came from your mouth. And many times you were not even so attached to it. It's just that because you identified as this body and it escaped this mouth, then you have to take a stand and say, okay, this is what. Like that. It's nothing, is it? It's just nothing. So, all of this is showing you that our attachment to this limited body, our attachment to just some floating energies that we call thoughts, we call it the mind, you see, is causing so much seeming suffering. But as Nitya said, it's so simple, it's so obvious, you see, and it's easy to just drop it, stop, you see. But you cannot stop and play the game, but what about me? Stop means playing the game of, stopping the game of what about me. Start to see your own tricks of the mind and says, but when will I get it? Why am I missing it? You see, who is it? Who is it representing? Take these things, Bhagwan's pointers, very, very literally. Who is witnessing these thoughts? Who are you? All this facade will fall away very quickly if you let go of this selfishness for this me, you see. Who do you want freedom for? Who do you want freedom for? And if that blank has an answer, then know that that one cannot get it. And to see this is to see that actually there is no bondage.
What's freedom?
Huh?
What is freedom?
Exactly. It's just another term. Another term which gives assent to bondage. You see, when we chase freedom, what are we doing? We are giving acceptance to the notion of bondage. Isn't it? Exactly. So just these opposites have got us by the neck. These opposites. Am I bound? Am I free? Am I good? Am I bad? Am I right? Am I wrong? Is this true? Is this false? Is this up? Is this down? Is this yesterday? Is this tomorrow? You see? It's nothing. It's nonsense. Is this yesterday? We don't know. Is it tomorrow? We don't know actually. If you really look, I know these can sound like very absurd questions. You see?
The date.
So what?
It is based
Even
on
yesterday is a date.
Yeah.
Even yesterday is the date.
Yeah, you gotta chase everything. Some notions that we've seen,
What?
the sun passing.
No, it
or
could just be yesterday.
Could-
What do you have to change? This could be 10 lifetimes ago. Who knows any of this? This is nothing. It means nothing. You see, we know nothing. And I mean it completely seriously. We know nothing. And we don't even know that we know nothing. It is.
Wow.
You see, we have no way of saying that this is not a dream, this is not a memory. We don't know what a dream is or a memory is. Maybe memory is more real than this. You see, what do we know really? I mean, what are we so caught up in this knowledge? Like, what is it actually? You see, this could be like a very, very vivid memory of 50 million years ago. You might be a bacteria right now. Who knows? Like, nobody knows these things. You see, like, what is it that we actually know? That's what I'm saying. We go hunting for this knowledge. All this like little me stuff goes out the window so fast because what is it? You see, this one simple example is that.
Bacteria is more little.
Well, I don't know about that. The little me, the non-existent one. I don't know. You see? So that example I was saying of the king, you see, he was saying, am I the king who had the dream that he was a butterfly, or am I the butterfly who's dreaming he's the king? Is it very pertinent question actually? Don't take it like very airy-fairy. It's very pertinent. You see, are you a butterfly dreaming that you are this body? Can't say. Is it? So yeah. Sorry.
That just reminded me of something that happened today. You know, you're always saying like we don't know how much we still know. We were just having lunch, and I just like looked down at my pizza, and then at one point like looked up at him, and I just went, "Oh, no te conozco," which is just like, I don't know you. but it was just, I don't, like maybe it sounds strange the way I'm saying it, but in the moment it was just like, oh, actually.
Who is this guy, bearded guy? Yeah.
Yeah, and then, because then it was also like,
You like, you don't need to know me as long as you're still paying for the pizza. We're good.
But it was
Sorry,
like,
I'm making a joke.
I actually can't know, I can't even
There is no
know
such thing
you.
as to know
And,
actually.
like it's only a perception.
Yeah.
And then it's also not true to say like, I don't know you. Like
Exactly,
not like that.
exactly,
Not like that.
exactly.
Just like
It's not dramatic. Like it's not like, oh,
just
I don't
like-
know you.
just like
I've been living with a stranger. Not like that. Many like after a while in a marriage, it can be like, but I don't know you at all. I've been living with you, but you're not. It is just like this. What would it even mean? Really, what would it even mean to know? You see, to have a concept of it is to know. To have the labels of it is to know. What would it even mean to know?
Who do you fall in love with all these years?
Huh?
Like those emotions, those things. What was
Are
it?
you now
Walking
speaking
along?
on
No.
her behalf? No, no.
But
See.
it,
So because who did we? Who did we? And who did?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Who fell in love also we don't know.
I don't know. What was it looking at? Was it the ego, the shape, the person?
Yeah.
The ego of that being?
The ego is also non-perceptual. You see?
even if the perceptions of the other
Yeah.
seem to be like consistent and seem to have some sort of like continuity in time, that's still another perception. Like
And actually, like what is a perception? We don't know. What is perception? Just terms, no? Just labels. When you say appearance, disappearance, manifest, unmanifest, being, not being, all of these are just terms.
And so
They
momentary.
claim some knowing, but what do we know?
I just claimed that I know that is a passing notion.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I'm doing in Satsang every day, claiming lots of stuff, but then saying provisional, like that, saying it's all nonsense, all nonsense. So, in a way, it reminds me of that author, no? Who would write things and then cross them out, you see? And say there's value to seeming value to still writing them, but don't take it too literally because that also has to be crossed out. You see? So.
Nothing to do.
You see, can't take any position because neither something to do nor nothing to do. You see? Do itself means what? We looked at that. Yeah? What is do?
But you know when you're done.
Okay, that reassurance I give you.
The root seems to be the formation of the I that needs to have the doing.
Yeah, so the formation of the I itself, the I thought, you see, the I thought is the root of foundation of all of this trouble. If you don't refer to I as anything, what is there? You see? And that is why sometimes I'm very insistent when we do the inquiry together that you inquire. You see? Because many times we're using the question of the inquiry, who am I, to say, that's a beautiful state that is coming. You see? Or, this is what the mind is saying now when I do the inquiry. You see? Or I even keeps insisting, but who are you? I see what you're doing now, my mind is very still. No, who are you? You see? Just like, ask, find, who are you really? You see, not what it is doing for you, what is the state of mind, not what you have discovered about something. You see, who are you? You see? You see? You see? Because it was a bit of a shock actually. And when we were just like doing the inquiry the other day, a few weeks ago, and I realized that hardly anyone is doing the inquiry when they're doing the inquiry. You see, they're just sightseeing. Like, look at the piece, look at the shaking. You know, it's just like you're going on an expedition, you're just sightseeing. But nobody is really asking who you are. You see? And it's like, now this thought is coming, now this mind is saying that. You see? And I'm like, but what happened to the inquiry? I see what you now you are. So the inquiry is to just honestly, simply ask yourself, who am I? You see, not I see what the mind is doing now. I see that this state is coming this way. You see, it's so helpful like this. I should do this every day. All this kind of stuff. You see, it's just sightseeing. You see? Yeah.
Oh, maybe I shouldn't say this, but like, because we did one of the retreats online, and like beautiful Sangha sister who hosted, and like at the end of the retreat, we were all like, and then one of the first things she said is like, yeah, you know, I need to see now that, you know, I just need to like leave a bit more space in my life and like not plan so much. So, you know, I'm probably not going to keep a list of all the things I need to do anymore. And that was like the number one insight that had come from the retreat. And it was kind of like,
Yeah.
but you, who? Like, what? And like, I don't know exactly what you're saying. It's just kind of like, just taking on hints and tips from life.
This is how it helped me.
Yeah.
This is how it helped me.
Yeah.
This is how it helps me. You see? This but me thing. You see? If I do the inquiry enough, it'll help me. If I find out who I am, it'll help me. This kind of thing. You see? It's so pervasive.
It's just like
And all the tools are co-opted. All the tools are co-opted in that same this thing, you see. So now I'm using the inquiry to bring myself to a particular state, you see. So it helps me in this way. There's still the me. So who me? Who are you? You see, that gets lost. So even Guruji's Pirana question, can the perceiver be perceived? I got after everyone to ask, can it be perceived? You see? And or in a way, can it also be denied? So just forcing you to look sometimes is important, because otherwise it was just like these sightseeing adventures. Like, look at that hippopotamus, look at that elephant, look at you see, green grass. It's like a safari, you know. The inquiry became like a safari. Oh, let me do the inquiry, let's see what happens. You know, this kind of. And God help us if there are some chakras shining and some fancy stuff happening, then even more to the mix. You see, then it's like, oh, this happened, then this mind became very quiet, then my fifth chakra started vibrating at 25 frequency, hertz, something frequency, and then this inquiry is really helping me.
And I found that there's no me.
And I found that there's no me, and that really helps me have a more peaceful life. Like finding that there is no me is the best thing I could have done for myself. Finding that there is no me is the best gift I've given myself. I'm so happy now. I can die in peace.
what a sense of humor. God really has a sense of humor.
Yeah, God has a sense of humor.
I'm imagining this booming noise. Jokes on you! Who me?
I want to remind you before we close today that, and tomorrow is also Sunday, no satsang. So sometimes the mind uses the opportunity of this so-called ending of satsang also as an opportunity to like fall into the groove of individuality again. You see, because the type of words you will use now, the type of interactions you will have, will be more worldly in a way. You see, but you will see that you're just witnessing all this interaction happening, you see, in the same way that you witness all this interaction happening, but now don't use that as a reason to fall back into the groove of, okay, now I can just believe what the mind is saying about me and just start, satsang time's over, is it? But satsang is not over actually. I was saying the other day that I want only a little bit of your time, is it? Just 24 hours a day. Sleep state you don't have to worry about because completely is fine. Is it? But because it can become like this sort of dichotomy that in satsang I'm just like this, but then as soon as satsang is over, back to me time. Me time. Don't buy into these ideas. Oh, but the world expects me to be this way, the world expects me to be that way, my family expects this, my friends expect that. All this plays out. You see? Whatever has to play out, it plays out in the light of your own self. There's nothing that you have to identify with the limited aspect of yourself to be able to do something. You see? It is not like that anyway. So, all natural relationships, parenting, being a son, being a daughter, all these relationships, all of these play out in a natural way. You see? Unless we take a position that I have to be this way or that way. So I'm not saying that as you leave satsang, be the satsang way or something like that. You see? So there is no way that I'm asking you to be. Just remain open, remain empty as much as possible. You see? And you'll see that whatever has to play out is playing. The mind will sell you this duality saying, okay, satsang, non-satsang, family time, satsang time. You see? And in a way, that's why I left my so-called family time also completely open for all of you. My family comes, they interact naturally, easily. So it just plays in its own. You see, there's nobody doing this. You see, there's nobody doing this. These words are appearing. Then if my children are there, then those words are appearing. You see, what is there to decide to be this way or that way? It is not like that. Thank you all so much for being in satsang today. Sadguru Shri Muji Baba ki Jai.
Sadguru Shri Ananta Ji ki Jai.
Guru Kripa Kevalam.